So I think that we can start on the speakers here. So
yes, excuse
Mr.
me.
Lung.
Hold on, please. Hold on.
Okay.
Mr. Tang, the dean of the faculty of the economics is online by the account Trương Ánh Minh.
Trương Ánh Minh. Okay.
Yes, please
okay.
add into the panelists.
Yeah, sure. 1 minute. So is there anyone else from the UTE that you would like to add to the panelists so I can make it now?
That's enough. That's enough.
Okay, and thank you. And from Dr. Manoj Dash, is there anyone you want to add on the panelist? So you are mute, sir. I cannot hear you.
Yeah, Professor Sawi already said, so there is no one on other one.
Okay. So I think that's we can start. So I will start recording when Mr. Lung start. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, please be ready for the seminar. To start, please allow me to introduce myself to Dr. Manoj Das and Professor Sasu. I'm Dr. Nguyễn Vũ Lân, Deputy Head of Office of Science, Technology and International Affairs Office of Ho Chi Minh City University of Technology Education. Dear participants, the problematic situation being caused by COVID-19 pandemic is quite seriously around the world, and both in India and Vietnam. Anyway, thanks to the consistent and kind support from the Consulate General of India in Ho Chi Minh City, the collaboration between Vietnam and India partners is still strongly enhanced. So the seminar today is such a result from that. Please let me start by introducing to you the participation of the following VIP. The very first is the Consul General of India in Ho Chi Minh City, Dr. Madan Mohan Sethi, please. Yes, and also I'm very much sorry we cannot do the applause. So sorry for quite a quiet environment. The second, I would like to introduce to you the Director of Behavioral Economics Experiments and Analytics Laboratory, Indian Institute of Information Technology and Management, Walia, Professor Rajendra Sasu. Yes. And the next one, I would like to introduce to you the faculty coordinator, also from Behavioral Economics Experiments and Analytics Laboratory, Indian Institute of Information Technology and Management. The presenter today, Dr. Manoj Kumar Das. From our university, we have the participation of the head of Office of Science, Technology and International Affairs Office of Ho Chi Minh City University of Technology and Education, Professor Hoàng An Quốc. And also we have the participation of the Dean of the Faculty of Economics, Dr. Dang Quang Vang. And also we have here the attendance of teachers and students from the Faculty of Economics. And as you can see, they are filling up the room in a few minutes. First of all, please join us to invite the Consul General of India in Ho Chi Minh City, Dr. Madan Mohan Sethi, to deliver a speech, please.
So good afternoon. I think thanks to University of Technology and Education, frankly, this is a long outed that we are planning to have a kind of a webinar online classes which are institutes. And I must also express my thanks and regards to Professor Rajendra Sahu and Dr. Manoj Das, who came forward actually to have a kind of interaction with the university, and definitely will explore a possible of cooperation in a formal sense once the COVID crisis in India subsides. So I must tell you that higher education is an important area where India has got lots of success, has made lots of strides, and Indian Institute of Technology, IIIT, we used to call, they are the pioneers actually in IT technology and its application parts. And when I meet the leaders of Ho Chi Minh City and the provincial government, and I have visited also so many universities in the last 8 to 9 months, I personally believe that Vietnam students have lots of talent actually to imbibe IT technology and to apply it also. But India is little bit early starter because from 2001 onwards we have gone on a IT spree. The sector is quite strong, and you must be knowing about Bangalore, you must be knowing about Bhubaneswar, Pune, Hyderabad. All are the IT hubs, and now lots of other IT hubs in small cities, medium cities are also coming up. So, so that is the main reason actually I thought that why not to have a kind of cooperation in IT sector, while we are also planning to invite more than 100 IT companies from India to come and invest here also, and in the process also train the Vietnamese students and the Vietnamese professionals. So I should not take any more time. I think this will be a nice way to start, nice way to connect in during this crisis. I can promise that once the pandemic will be subside, we'll definitely get Professor Sahu and Dr. Das within ourselves here in Ho Chi Minh City. We'll have much better kind of coordination. And from my office, I'm promising that we are always ready to do whatever is possible, at least in higher education sector. And this is an initial start. We have a long way to go, and I express my thanks to IIITM Gwalior and also to the University of Technology and Education for partnering this webinar series. And I'm sure there is a lot we can learn from each other. Thank you, all of you, and to the students also. Thanks.
Thank you so much. And also from our university, Ho Chi Minh City University of Technology and Education. Now, please welcome Professor Hoàng Anh Quốc to give a speech. Please.
Dear Dr. Madan Mohan Sethi, Consul General of India in Ho Chi Minh City. Dear Professor Rajendra Sahu, Director of the Behavioral Economic Experiment and Analysis Laboratory, Indian Institute of Information Technology and Management, Gwalior. The Dr. Manoj Kumadas, Faculty Coordinator of Behavioral Economic Experiment and Analytic Laboratory, Indian Institute, Information Technology and Management, Gwalior. Dr. Dan Quang Bang, Dean of Faculty Economic, Ho Chi Minh City, University of Technology and Education. It is our great honor to have you here today. Based on the very close and fruitful cooperation and relationship between the Consulate General of India in Ho Chi Minh City and our university, Ho Chi Minh City University of Education, Technology and Education have been honored to receive the Ambassador of India to Vietnam, Mr. Pranay Verma, and the Consul General of India in Ho Chi Minh City, Dr. Madam Mohan Sethi, at our campus in January 2021. After that, the Consulate General have put even stronger efforts to help enhance collaboration between Ho Chi Minh City, University of Technology and Education, and our values and vital Indian partners. One of real-life resource is the connection between you, the Indian Institute of Information Technology and Management, Gwalior, and us. We very much appreciate the valuable support. Also, we would like to deeply thank Professor Rajendra Sahu and Dr. Manoj Kumadas for your willingness to deliver the seminars today. And we believe that this seminar is initiating of an era of long-term cooperation between ABV, IITM, and the Faculty of Economic of Ho Chi Minh City, University of Technology and Education, in terms of faculty exchange, joint training, and joint research opportunities. As you might find here today, there is participation of both teachers and students of the Faculty of Economic, who are the first to benefit from your sharing of knowledge and expertise today. And hopefully, this activity will be maintained and repeated in many more times in the future, despite the difficulty presented by COVID-19 pandemic in both India and Vietnam in this challenging time. We wish you all safety and great health, and with the seminar to be a big success. Thank you all for your dedication to our collaboration. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Han Anh Quoc. Next, I would like to invite the Director of Behavioral Economics and Experiments and Analytics Laboratory of IITM Gwalior, Professor Rajendra Sahu, to deliver a speech, please.
Professor Sahu.
Let me check.
Oh, okay, sir.
Yes, please.
Am I audible now?
Yeah, you are audible, sir. You are audible.
Yes.
Okay. So this is a new era in the cooperation of and relationship between two countries. So this is something that we all were looking forward for this day, because knowledge is something that takes life together. If human life has survived and survived many other kingdoms, it's only that we were able to pass on knowledge. We pass on knowledge from one generation to the another generation. So the younger generation is always richer than us. So there is no choice than to keep continuously learning, sharing, and growing together. Because we had the education policy of India was revived after a long time last year. What we call is New Education Policy 2020. So the new education policy clearly mentions that education has to be student-centric. Actually, it is not teaching, it is learning. If the and the learning is today lifelong learning, because whatever technology we learn, quickly they become obsolete. A technology like the electrical vehicles are today almost gone. The CI technology or the IC engine technology is all gone. Similarly, there are many technologies that are going to go away quickly, and they will be taken up by better technologies. So the quicker we destroy the technologies, quicker we learn and move forward in life. This institute, as the name suggests, Indian Institute of Information Technology and Management, is the first that started in 1997, last century. Prior to this, all other technologies were dividing technologies. Technologies were getting divided from electrical to electronics to computer science, things like that. But IT technology started binding all of this. It doesn't belong to one. It belongs to everybody. So this technology has taken into almost all spheres. The first sphere that came was industry, because industry, as it became bigger and bigger, it started to disintegrate itself, to coordinate itself. It developed ERP, then gradually supply chain, ERP, all these started coming in. And decision making was becoming very challenging. So the computers came as a way, and the IT technology is today binding technology. If we see, we may not like to be served by a waiter, rather than we maybe like to be having more fat being served by a robot. So this, the new education policy clearly focuses on collaborative research, interdisciplinary research, and customized learning. A student can learn from anywhere, and that becomes a part of the program. Only thing is that it has to be standardized, the content has to be standardized, whatever mechanism we may adopt. But so this is going to bring in more challenge to us, to the teaching community. It's going to bring in more of, because now we say the student knows more, because between the teacher and the student, a teacher learns first. A teacher is a senior student. But now, if we see, if the students are learning faster, then what is our role? We have to be more of facilitators. So this, I have a great hope that we will be able to collaborate, learn, and move further. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And it seems we are doing a very good timing now. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your very wonderful speeches. And now let us get into the seminar presentation today by welcoming Dr. Manoj Kumar Das. Please kindly take the floor for your presentation. Thank you.
Good afternoon to all of you. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, sir. But I think there's lots of surrounding noise. So
Yeah. Now
I think now it's better. Yeah, please start.
Okay. So good afternoon to all of you. Today my topic is the advanced tools and technique in management research. Before going to my topic, I'd like to thank two renowned institutes and organizations, and one is our own institute, that is Indian Institute of Information Technology and Management, Gwalior, and the University, Ho Chi Minh University of Technology and Education, Vietnam. So first, I'd like to thank Dr. Madan Mohan Sethi, Sir, Consul General of India, HNC, Vietnam, Professor Hong and Kok, Head of Science, Technology and International Affairs Office of the University, Professor Rajendra Sahu, the Director of the Indian Institute of Information Technology and Management, Gwalior, Dr. Nogin Bhorlan, Deputy Head of Science, Technology and International Affairs, Mr. Dong Ken, Commerce and Information Culture Assistant, and the Office of SCMUT. Thanks to all of you. Because of all of you, I'm here to explain my views, my concepts, my thought to all audience. So about me, I did my MA in Econometrics, MPhil in Econometrics, MBA in Marketing, PhD in Econometrics. I organized 26 faculty development program in all over India, organized 5 MDB program, and published 13 books. So everything, this is my presence in academics fraternity and research fraternity. I've already shared this PPT to your office. For more details, you can check and you can discuss with me. I would not take much more time to introduce about me to all gatherings. I visited Harvard Business School, Boston for a conference. I visited Cyprus. the 5 students awarded under my guidance. Beside IIIT Gwalior, I'm also visiting faculty at IIM Indore, IIM Lucknow, Lancaster University, UK, and IISER Berhampur. This is my agenda. First, I'll talk about the current scenario, research. What are the expectations of research? Some experiments we will do, and the tools and techniques used in research, specifically economics and management. Then I will handle the question and answer if you're having. Now, this is very important one. Everybody is interested to publish their paper, but it's not so easy because there are many such challenges we're going to face, maybe based upon our nobility of our research, maybe based upon our tools and techniques are not rightly used, maybe the implications of research are not good. So we have to pass each and every stage. Then only we can complete, we can say that I can publish a good paper. So first ask yourself, what type of researcher you are? Are you issue-based researcher? It means, for example, in last 5 years, there are a number of issues raised in India, like demonetizations, GSTs, cleanness, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, then COVID-19. Now what happened? One researcher will pick one issues and did research, publish one paper, then he changed his area from another issues. So if you are issue-based researcher, then no doubt you can publish your paper. For the citation of your paper, your citation of your work is low. Nobody will recognize you as a researcher because if you publish 50 papers with 50 issues, meaningless. So my dear students and friends and audience, please ask yourself what type researcher you are. Or are you policy-based researcher? Or are you industry-oriented researcher? Means your research is only based upon the industry problem. Or you are simply a theoretical researcher. It means you want to develop some theory behind the new policies, the rules, regulations, conceptualizations of the term. So and some are the specialized researcher. Suppose if I say, I am the researcher in digital marketing, or I am the researcher in analytical tools. So in the last 15 years to 18 years, I worked on this specialization. Then only my citation will be increased. I can recognize as a researcher in this area, and I can review some paper because I have a strong background in this area. What I've seen many times, we are having crowd following researcher. It's very large in number. I have researched of top 20 researchers who published this crowd following researcher. Means when I analyzed their CV, what I found that they published 100 papers with 75 issues of different countries. I can say that simply they are crowd following researcher. And another thing is that, are you tool-centered researcher? My dear friends, am I audible? Because I don't know whether I'm audible or not. Just
No, you are audible. You are audible.
Thank you. But this is my area. That is, I am a tool-centered researcher. One of the professor of IIT Delhi, he claimed that he said that, Dr. Das, you are a tool-centered researcher. Yes, I agree. What is tool-centered researcher? I know the problem. I know what are the objective of that problem. And from that objective, I can explain what better tool and technique we can be used so that the real objective of the problem can be solved. So first ask yourself, what type of researcher are you? Are issue-based, policy-based, industry-oriented researcher, theoretical researcher, specialization researcher, crowd-following researcher, or tool-centric? But I have seen that 10% of the researcher, they can do all the things. But my dear friends, my suggestion is just focus two things. One, if you want to be a recognized researcher and having more citation in your area, then better to focus in specialization research and tools and research. There is challenges. We don't know what to start, why to start, when we will work, where work, and how. So these 5W will be always creates in our mindset to start our research. If I say one student to do the research, he will ask this 5 questions: what to do, why to do, when to do, how to do. This can be answered by a research question if you have. So this is the question. The 1 hour I've explained how to start and when to start and exactly what can be carried out in our research. I'd like to thank one of my mentor and professor, N.K. Sarmaji. During one presentation, he said that this is our research. This is a supervisor and this is your student. If supervisor wants something and student wants something, we cannot reach any conclusion because our specialized, our objectives, our interest, and the interest of the students are totally different. So we cannot reach any conclusion, so we cannot do a good research. Sometimes what happens, we start some research, and we have seen some other problems, again we change our track here. Again you see some problem, again you change our track. Now what happened, within 2 years, we never end, we don't know what exactly we are going to do. So it means you start and change your track. Again, you see some good concept. Again, you change. So it means this is called zigzag research. We cannot complete or conclude in particular point of time. This is another way the student, before going to do any research, they have a lot of questions in their mind. Can I complete my research? Can my research will be acceptable? Can I use this tool? So if the questions before starting, if you have many questions in your mind, you cannot do any good research. And this is a very interesting phenomenon. You decided to do one thing, but there are a lot of, there is a bottleneck. It means you interact one professor, he said that don't do this because this is already overcrowding. So what happened? You spend 1 year with your work, due to some interactions and some negative thoughts, you have to stop your research. And similarly, in this area, before do the research, there are a lot of challenges. Some says that I don't know the better English. Some says that I don't know tools and techniques. Some says that I don't have time. Some says that, so it means this is another problem. But this is a good research. You have a clear goal in your mind. There is a concept called visualization in the end. Means if you want to do any work, you should visualize what should be its end. If you clearly visualize the end of that particular problem, then you will be focused, you will be good, your objective is clear, you can do a better research. So what I think, don't do this type of research, focus on a clear and focused research. And I should thanks to Professor N.K. Sharma from IIT Kanpur, he retired professor. What he said, to start research, but know that, and some problems already exist or persist during your time. Please wait for some time, read it, review it, criticize it, then go ahead. Don't think that since this person has already worked, I cannot be doing. So my dear research, this is your clear goal. We have to choose this area without thinking a second in your mind. You will be you should focus your research. So to be data scientist, if you want to be a tool-centered researcher, you have to require two things. You have to boost your quantitative skill. You also boost your qualitative skill. For that, some domain of knowledge is required. You require some mathematics and statistics. You require some business and economics knowledge. You require some software knowledge. You should require some computer science language and machine learning. But my dear friends, don't worry. We are economists. We are going to be econometrician. We are a policy analyst. So data science will be play not a major role, but a minor role. But whatever may be, I should know what tools and techniques are currently people are using for to understand the problem and solve the problem. Generally, there is a lot of confusion between two things. One is analysis, another is analytics. Most of researchers, they claim that they did analytics, but my dear friend, there is a clearly difference. Even if we are doing research in economics, we should know what is analysis and what is analytics. Analysis is purely structure based upon collection of your data. You have to estimate your data from a sample and you interpret the result. It means it is based upon the estimation. But here, analytics is unstructured and it is based upon big data. For an example, if I wrote something in my Facebook, within 1 hour, I got 5,000 messages. You know, in Odisha now it is a storm. There is a heavy raining now. That's why there is some sound is there. Okay. It's unstructured. So for that, we have a big data. I give you an example. For an example, suppose I wrote something in my Facebook account. Within 1 hour, I am having 10,000 observations. Some are in numbers, some are in words, some are in image, some are in videos, and I want to analyze the emotion of my friends related to this issue. When the data are highly unstructured, how to analyze your result? For that, I do the data mining, and then here I go for visualizations. So the visualization means you have to analyze the things through some graphs, diagrams, some diagrams, or something way where you have to people can understand the problem through the inferences. So when you visualize the thing, it is called analytics. When you estimate the thing, it is called analysis. Okay, and both the objective is called decision making. So my dear friends, analysis is based upon estimation, based upon a sample, based upon data collection, and based upon some test of hypothesis, some tools and technique, and the analysis is based upon unstructured, it's based upon big data. It is required for data mining and go for visualization. But whatever may be, either analysis or analytics, the objective should be decision making. That's why we policymakers or the academician are doing research, because they have to take some decision regarding the problem. There are 4 types of problem generally you are answered in our research. First thing is that what is happening? Second, why did it happen? Third, what is likely to happen? And fourth, what should I do about it? So if you want to analyze what these 4 is called descriptive analysis, diagnosis, first to descriptive things, do some tools where we can explain what is happening. Then we'll go for diagnosis tools and technique to analyze why it happens. Then you shift over predictive analytics. We'll shift predictive analytics, where our objective is what is likely to happen. And the last one, once you know all the 3 about your characteristics of a sample, about reasons for the problem, and about predictions of that problem, based upon these, we have to develop some strategy, which is called what should I do about it. So basically, in a good research paper, having 25 pages generally, the first 3 pages is talk about descriptive. First 3 pages talk about descriptive. Then next 7 pages talk about diagnosis. Next 5 pages talk about predictives, 5 to 8. And the last 3 pages talk about implication nobility. So while reading your research paper, the reviewer can understand what is the problem, why the problem exists, how the problem can be visualized, when the problem will be solved, what are the techniques, and what strategy the researcher will apply. So, but basically, I have seen most of the researchers, they only focus 2 things. Either these 2, they analyze the things and diagnosing without analyzing the prescriptive, or they directly go for predictive and prescriptive. But being a good research, you have to go like this: descriptive, diagnosis, predictive, prescriptive. Then the problem will be solved. For that, we have required some analytical skills, some tools and techniques that I'm going to discuss now. So if you want to analyze the descriptive analysis, these are the different things people are using, that is called mean, median, mode, standard deviation, range, stem-left diagram, histogram, interquartile range. These are things. But if you want to do predictive things, I can go for forecasting, I can go for data mining. And IIIT Gwalior is most of our researchers and faculty are specialized in data mining and forecasting, because we have seen the problem, and based upon our some tools and technique and AI apply, that is artificial intelligence and machine learning, we have to forecast the things, either it is in a finance, whether it is in a stock, whether it is in economy, with agriculture, whether it is industry, or it is based upon the behavioral or the biological thing or medical thing. We are specialized people. We can do the forecasting and data mining for that things. And similarly, for prescriptive analytics, we have a number of techniques, that is linear programming, sensitive programming, then optimization, simulation model, and I will explain one by one now. For a good research title, suppose you want to start research. I will start next 10 minutes, I will explain. Next 10 minutes, I'm going to explain how to start. For a good research title, these 5 things should be there. First, there should be a concept or issues in your title. There will be sectors should be specific, mentioned in your title. Approach should be mentioned in your title. What tools you have applied in your work should be in your title. Scope and area. For example, we published, I'll give some example, we published one paper in benchmarking, the renowned journal, where we say that construction of capital procurement decision-making model to optimize supplier selecting the Fuzzy, Delphi, and HP Delphi. So Fuzzy, Delphi, HP Demetel is a tools. Concept is your capital procurement decision-making model. Approach is your optimized supplier selection, and the scope is to construct. So for a good research title, we should have all the things. For example, another paper which is related to economics, that is, we have worked, that is investigating the role of social media in polio prevention. Now here, what is the concept? Concept is, problem or issues is polio prevention. Where? India. What tools? Demetel tools. What is your approach? Investigating my approach. And what are the scope? That is role of social media. So if you have the 5 things in your title, the reviewer or reader can easily understood what exactly you did in this paper. So these are a lot of tools and techniques are there in our econometrics, economics, and management. I just list down some things. These are the factor analysis, confirmatory factor analysis, cluster analysis, RFM analysis, churn analysis, customer lifetime value, text analytics, regression, dummy variable, profit, market basket, MDS, balance scorecard, ASP, CART, TOPSIS, that's called technique optimization, similarity additive solution, the neural network, ANP, DA, NLP, decision tree, and churn. There are a lot of tools and techniques we are using in our research, in our lab also. We have used this tool and technique to explain the different research problem of our student. So if anybody interested to work with some problem and tool and technique, they can also discuss with our institute and our lab so that we can help, we can jointly collaborate the work. So I don't want to spend much more time. Now let's start about what tool and technique will be used and what is the problem. Suppose you're interested to work customer optimization. If you're interested to work customer optimization, you can use the term called RFM and CLV analysis. If you're interested in churn analysis, how the customer is living in the organization, we have a survival analysis. If you want to identify and validation the factors, you have exploratory and confirmatory meta-analysis. If you want to develop a model based upon some problem, we can use the structural equation modeling, and there is a concept called PLS, partial least square. If your decision is dichotomous and you want to know whether he will accept or reject the proposal, whether he will be satisfied or dissatisfied, if your decision is dichotomous, we are going to apply dispute analysis. If you're interested to know impact analysis, we have a regression analysis. We call it the OLS, the ordinary square methods. And we also check all the properties of OLS, that is blue property, best linear unbiased estimator. If you want to do some positioning work, we go for MDS technique. If you want to analyze some attributing strategy, we have a conjoint analysis. If you want to check the product intimacy, that it means which product can be sold together, we have a concept called market basket analysis. And if you want to do some clustering work, we have a called classification and regression tree chart analysis. Similarly, if you're interested to work on multi-criteria decision-making approach, that is called MCDM approach, then suppose I want to analyze demographic impacts, I go for moderation mediation. I want to prioritize my problem. I want to analyze the prioritization strategy. I go for AHP methods. I want to know the barriers and the cause and effect of my problem. I can apply the D-metal analysis. If I want to develop some qualitative model, I can go for ISM model. Then if I want to go for ranking of the decision-making units, I'm going to use TOPSIS. If I want to, now this thing is based upon the CRIPS decision, where the respondent can generally say whether it is agree to disagree, it can be analyzed, but sometimes we don't know the CRIPS situation. We are interested in complex situation, it means 0 to 1 or 0, that is called fuzzy analysis. Which means if the scale is fuzzy, we can also use fuzzy HP, fuzzy D-metal, fuzzy TOPSIS like that. And if you want to analyze the benchmarking, you have a D analysis that is called data environment analysis. And if you want to analyze the sentiment of the consumer or customer, we have used NLP, that is called natural language process. And you want to retain some customer, then we go for churn analysis. Let's start how to start your research work. I am specialized in one of the area is called retail sector. And now when I decided to work on retail, I have to do 3 things. First, I should learn the key concept in the retail. I should identify what are the different challenges of the retail. I should also require what approaches already people had applied to understand and work on the challenges. So if you decided any sector, suppose you are interested in agriculture sector also, or industry sector also, or economic sector also, first required 3 things. Identify the key concept, identify some challenges. You write down the challenges in your notebook and identify the approaches, how the challenges can be mitigated. Now, the first and foremost thing is that any researcher, if you want to start, please do one technique which is called bibliometric analysis. Bibliometric analysis, there is a software called BoyesViewer and SiteNet Explorer. If suppose I'm interested to work retail management, I use 2 databases. One is Scopus, another is called Web of Science. And I search the broad topic retail, that is suppose churn in retail. When I use these 2 words, I got 4,268 articles or research already published. And I want to know what are the key research area people have already discussed, and what are the dry research area people are just about to they started, and what are the green research area where I can work. So if you want to know high research area, dry research area, and green research area, green means what is your, then you can apply the bibliometric mapping. Before, listen, this is my request to all the researchers. If you are interested to work on some issue, first step of research is please do bibliometric mapping. In bibliometric mapping, what exactly you will find, we should know what are the keywords people are already used, What country published highest number of work? Yesterday, I have searched the research work of your university, and I'm quite happy that you people have published a nice article in good journal. So I think that there is a good opportunity to both of the institute, we can work together. Now, if you want to do bibliometric mapping, I should know which work has a highly published, which country published highest number of research in your work, which author published highest number of work, which paper is highly cited work, which institution has already published a lot of work, and what are the trend of this particular work. So from this bibliometry, this is the research outcome I should know. That is, highly cited authors, more research areas, dry research area, country with highest publications, institute works highest and lowest numbers, and what the research gave, that can be solved with this visual mapping that is called bibliometric mapping. So I request to all of you, please go to the bibliometric mapping. If you go through the YouTube also, I have given my YouTube channel. You can go through my lecture on bibliometric mapping to understand how the research will start. And you can publish your first paper on your area. Suppose I'm interested to work on, that is called, let's talk about the impact of internalization in higher education. Impact of internalization in higher education. Impact of economic and social impact of internalization in higher education. So first I do the bibliometric to understand who are the people who already worked in this area, which country published largest number. It means you should know the basic descriptive analysis of your area, then only it will be helpful for two purposes. It helps for a documentation. They also help to know the dry area, and it also helps to know the green area for your work. The second step, once you did the bibliometric analysis to understand the most cited authors, most if you have any question, kindly chat me, kindly text in the chat box. I will answer there only. If you have any questions in between, you can chat, you can write that in text form in chat box. The second step is I want to do meta-analysis. Now, the many researchers claim that there are no significant paper is published in area. When you say that no significant paper, how can you claim that the papers are not significant? Because if in one area I found 286 papers is already published, but researchers claim in this work that they do not find any significant paper. How can you claim that the paper is significant or not? That can be checked through meta-analysis. The meta-analysis helps us out of 286 paper, which best 20 paper, which is a highly significant, contributed to your work. So once you know this 20 paper, that will be your best paper, and that will be your review part, because you are having a lot of paper, but you cannot say that the paper are not significant. So the meta-analysis helps us to understand the most significant paper, and it also helps. There is two types of meta. One is called meta review, and another is called meta SEM. Meta SEM. In meta SEM, we can develop a new model. For an example, I will give one example within 1 minute. Suppose there is a term model. In term model, the technological acceptance model, we have some factors and they are linked. Okay. Now I want to introduce one factor here, and I want to claim that these factors also be responsible for getting the problem or creating the problem. So here I want to test this thing through meta-SEM. If the meta-SEM says that it's significant, then I can claim that this may be one of the key variables. So the second technique that everybody should do, that is called meta-SEM. Next thing is that you can publish another second paper in meta-SEM. Now see, now here we do not have applied any tools and technique, but still with the help of bibliometric and meta, we understand our literature, we understand our concept, we understand your approach. Then we go for SLR, that is called strategic literature review. Once you got 20 paper or 60 paper through Bibliometric and Meta, then we will review based upon year-wise, concept-wise, critics-wise, approach-wise, methodology-wise, problem-wise, strategy suggested, and model implemented in this area. So how can you go for, but here what happened, I have seen many researchers directly start literature review. But my dear friends, literature review is the third part. First do bibliometric, then go for meta, then selected your best 20 to 60 paper, then you review this paper based upon any one of these concepts, then you can clearly say that there is what are the problem which is unsolved, because research starts with unsolved problem, not with problem. You can publish a third paper on the same concept. Then the fourth part, once you know the literature review, I want to identify the dimensions of that particular problem. For example, if my work on impact of higher education, impact of internalization or higher educations, okay, then I want to find out what are the impact. So to find out that factor or to variable, I have to do a citation analysis. I have to read all 50 papers, what I extracted from Bibliometric, Meta, and SLR, and based upon this 50 paper, I'll find out which factor is highly cited. Okay, these are the article 1. For example, I will give one example here. This is article 1, and this article 1 is let me cited the citation. Article 2, some citation. Then this A cited here, A cited by this article 2. So I will say that the A cited by 2 times. So now here we can do this exercise to understand how many papers are cited or co-cited by others. And this will help us to understand our factors, because before going tools and technique, you should have 4 things. Number 1, bibliometric. Number 2, meta. Number 3, SLR. Number 4, citation. Now, up to this, we know our problem and we know our factors. Now the question is, you can publish one paper here. We can start what tools we're going to use. So I don't want to spend much more time here. I will directly start. Okay, let's start with this one. Suppose I decided to work on retail sector and I have chosen that decision-making approach. What is my first objective? My first objective is to find out the factors that influence customer to visit the mall. When there is a word called factor, I will use the factor analysis to understand the factors. And I develop one paper. Once I identify the factors, then I want to find out to validate the factor which influence the customer who would like to visit the retail. When you say the validate word is there, I will use the concept called confirmatory factor analysis. I will explain one by one. And once I know this validate, then I will develop a structural model. For that case, I use the structural equation modeling. Now here, what happened? I know the factor, I know the validation of that factor, and I develop the good model. And I want to know whether some demographic characteristics like age, income, marital status, and gender has some effect on this model. If this is your case, I would apply moderation and mediation analysis of these particular things. Now, my dear researcher, I have not changed the problem. I'm having the one problem and I'm using with one problem with multiple tools to analyze the different problem. First, I identify the factor of the retail. Second, I validate the factor. Third, I have developed the structural model of intention. Then I develop the impact of demographic characteristics. Then I would find out impact of attitudes towards the customer. For that case, I want to use regression. Why regression? When there is a word called impact. Now, when the word is called impact, then I'm going to use regression. So if impact is there, regression. Structure is called structural modeling. Validate is called confirmatory factor analysis. And factor influence is called factor analysis. Then once I know the thing, I want to do segmentation of the customer who attract the retail. For that case, I apply the concept called CART, because CART will help us different segmentation to whom you target. Then I want to know the sentiment of analysis who visit my mall. because I know who are the customers who visit my mall, and I want to measure their emotion and sentiments. For that case, I've used text analytics or NLP. Then I want to know whether the customer visited can purchase or not purchase. Then I go for discount analysis to analyze whether the customer who visited the mall will purchase or not. Then I want to find out the customer lifetime value of retail mall. For that case, I'm going to use the RFM technique, which is called recency, frequency, and monetary. This is advanced technique people are using. And the last part, I want to know the demand forecasting model. It means how many customers will visit next 1 year, 2 year, next 3 months. For that case, I'm using time series modeling. Now, what is my intention to explain all those things? Here, my dear friends, I have not changed my problem. I'm having the same problem, but I'm using different tools to analyze the problem and publish the work. And here I can contribute something good for the industry also. Then this is called, you can publish 10 papers by using the 10 tools with the same problem. Now I want to use multi-criteria technique with the same related problem, that is called decision-making approach in retail sector. The first thing is that I want to know what are the barriers, okay, which impacts and affects the customer to visit the mall. When the what is called barrier, that can be analyzed through called ISM model. If I want to develop some strategy which overcome the barrier, I can go for TISM model. And if I want to, this is very most important technique. The most of institutes are using, research are using, that is called AHP. Analytical hierarchical process means I have developed some strategy. Okay, and most of the policymakers, they have developed strategy. And I don't know what strategy I have to apply first. It means I want to apply the prioritization of the strategy. For that case, I would apply analytical hierarchical approach. Once I know the strategy, then for each strategy, some problems will be arise, some effect will be there, some causes will be there. And to understand the cause and effect of the strategy, I will use the concept called D-metal analysis. Once I know the cause and effect, then I want to know the benchmarking of the competitor. Suppose there are 10 retailers, the 10 retailers are there, 10 decision-making units are there. I want to rank them. For that case, I'll use market, that is called Topsis analysis. Now, this will help us to understand the priorities, understand the barriers, understand the cause and effect, and to ranking your decision-making through all the tools. Now, the next question arises. If the customer visit or in your organization, what are the different products he can purchase together? What pricing strategy I can apply? For that case, I go for market basket analysis. If I want to understand the sentiment, I go for sentiment analysis. So these are the tools generally you're using multi-criteria decision makings. Now, sometimes you can publish the same 10 paper by using one and tool. Sometimes our decisions are not crisp, but in the fuzzy. Means I don't know whether it will be happening or not happening. Then, but if this is your scale, that is 0 to 1 scale, you don't know it will be there or there is exactly there happening. For each tool, we will applying the fuzzy ISM, fuzzy Topsis, fuzzy HP, fuzzy D-metal, fuzzy market basket, fuzzy sentiment. So, see, problem is remaining same, but approach is different. In first case, the approach is crisp. It means the respondent clearly distinguishes between 1 to 5. He knows whether he strongly disagree or can't say or agree or strongly agree. But in case we don't know the 5-point scale, it is a fuzzy scale. That is a complex in phenomenon. For that case also, we apply these tools that is called fuzzy ISM, fuzzy TISM, fuzzy HP, fuzzy D-metal, fuzzy Topsis, and fuzzy market basket. So once you decided what is to be searched, then the question is how it's done. Now, my dear friends, those who are interested to work on customer analysis, and this is your problem. Problem is, I want to understand my customer. I want to know the sentiment of the customer. I want to know how to retain my customer. I want to find out the CLV, lifetime value of the customer. I want to track my customer. I want to understand their buying behavior. I want to understand the challenges of online market. and there is decision-making style. This is your objective, then you can use any one of these techniques. What are they? They are either exploratory factor analysis. So those who are interested in customer analysis or consumer analysis, and this is your objective, that is understanding sentiment, retaining, lifetime value, tracking, buying behavior, challenges, and decision-making style. The researcher should know these tools details to analyze the situation. That is exploratory factor analysis, confirmatory factor analysis, cluster analysis, RFM analysis, churn analysis, CLB analysis, and text analytics. Those who are interested, those economists, researchers are interested in product analysis, that is to understand the positioning of the product, to find out the profitability of the product, to find out the defective analysis and losses of the product, to know the tracking of product movements, product intimacy, cross-selling, upselling. If this is your objective, then you can work on, you should know this technique that is called multiple regression, dummy variable regression, profit model, market basket, cart analysis. Cart means classification and regression tree, conjoint, and MDS. MDS is for positioning. Let me explain the concept. MDS is for the positioning. Profitability is based upon your, again, that is called conjoint. Product intimacy based upon market basket. Defective analysis based upon your profit model. Okay, and cross-selling, upselling based upon, again, a market basket. Then profitability also can be analyzed through regression analysis. So there are a lot of these are tools. If you're interested to work on product analysis, we should know these tools. Those who are interested in computer analysis, it means they want to know the benchmarking, they want to know competitive strategy, they want to know whether to go for aggressive or defensive strategy, whether they want to enter and exit in the market, or what is the behavior of the brand of my competitor, how the product movement, what are the priorities, and what are the cause and effect, ranking of the competitor. If this is your problem, then this is your problem, that is to understand the benchmarking, competitive, aggressive, entry and exit, then these tools, the students should know, that is balance scorecard, analytical hierarchical process, decision making, that is DMETAL, TOPSIS, CART, neural network, and NP. So those researchers who are interested, or it means if a group of the people, if they're interested to work in computer analysis, they should know these tools in details to understand and solve this problem. And that is called DA. This is very important technique. Most of economists to apply. That is called data environment analysis, which is used for the to analyze the efficiency measurement of the decision-making units. And if you're interested in the promotion analysis, that is called effective promotion, selecting the right media, ROI, then customer feedback, reaction. These are the tools people are using. But if you're interested in service analysis, because retaining, attracting, monitoring, competitive, we'll go for churn analysis, CRM, ECRM, MCRM, ICRM tools. These are tools where they basically used in service analysis. And being an economist, if you're interested in price analysis, there are a lot of tools will be there. You can apply elasticity of demand, break-even analysis, MRMC, input-output analysis. I did my PhD in econometrics in demand system, where I've analyzed, we applied, that is called LES, that is called linear expenditure system, AIDA, that is almost ideal demand analysis, then NES, NASA expenditure system, then I analyze the DLS, dynamic expenditure system. So I applied the linear expenditure, AIDA model, NES model, HLS model in my thesis to understand the consumer behavior or the food consumer behavior of the All India Price Index. So I developed some indexes based upon these tools. Similarly, in my research also I've used some finance that is called ARIMA model, ARCH model, GRATS model. Then you are having the Granger calculator model, you are having VAR model, GSM model. These financial econometrics we also use to understand the stock market. So basically, we have that a lot of tools and techniques are there to analyze our problem Now I will explain one by one. That is called factor analysis, where the objective is to find out that to reduce your dimension of the factors. So I've already said this PPT to all of you. Please go through more details about this. Now, similarly, we're having the conformity factor analysis, where I will find out what are the, and there is software called MOS. We have the software called MOS, where you can apply this concept to analyze the validity of the factor. Then we have a structure equation modeling. Again, we have having the software called MOS software to understand the relationship between or develop some hypothesis testing between the things. We have a structural equation modeling, and we also having moderation and mediation effect. These analysis can be solved through the SEM by helping of SPSS MO software. Similarly, we are having regression analysis. Most of econometrics we all know, that is, we know OLS method, we know the GLS method, we know then different regression COVID model, logit model, TOBIT model. So a lot of, and we also know the multicollinearity, autocorrelation, heterogeneity, homogeneity. Then we also know the simultaneous equation model. These models generally are using for our policy making and to impact analysis. Similarly, we are having a discriminant analysis to understand if the decision is a dichotomous, and if you want to know exactly the percentage between whether it will be like the product or not like product, then for that case, we are using the discriminant analysis. We have again to know the segmentation of the customer. We are using the cluster analysis. We have different cluster technique we are using, hierarchical cluster, K-means cluster. Okay, so these are the different cluster analysis that generally used to understand the segmentation. We also analyze the multi-dimensional scaling techniques, where we can compare between the two companies, whether they are close together, who are the more competitive, or what is the positioning of the company in the minds of customer. If this is our case, we have to apply multi-dimensional scaling. So I will just explain. There are 179 tools generally we are using in management and economics. If you go for econometrics, there are two types. One is called financial econometrics and basic econometrics. In financial econometrics, we're using start with your which model? Stationary checking. By then white noise, we go for a ARIMA model. We are having the VAR model, VCM model. We are having the GRATS model. We are having MGRATS model. We are having dynamic panel model. If you are a basic econometrics, where you introduce OLS method, GLS method, multi-collinearity, autocorrelation, heterogeneity. If you are multivariate, we are using factor analysis, cluster analysis. So, my dear friend, we are having 179 tools generally were applied in economics and management. And there are lots of different softwares also required. And by God's grace, I know I have worked and I trained these 179 tools to all researchers throughout India. So I don't want to spend much more time on this. If you have any question, I've already shared this PPT to all of you. Please go through the details, because it is not right to explain within 30 minutes by all the techniques. That's why I have given this PPT to all of you to give more details. You can interact with me through my email or chat box. This is called ISM model, where to find out the qualitative structural interpretation. This is called ASP model to analyze the prioritization strategy. We are having D-metal model to understand the cause and effect. I request to the organizer, kindly share my PPT to all the participants for more details. If they have any problem, they can email me and I will answer there only. I request to the organizer, kindly share. The stopsis is another problem. There is market basket to understand the product intimacy and product modeling of our pricing strategy. For that case, we are using market basket. You are using also text analytics. There is a concept called NLP, that is called natural language processing, where you have to find out the sentiment of the customer and emotion of the customers. So this is churn analysis we are using by applying the CBA methods, RFM methods, and the CART methods to understand So who are the customers are going to be shown in future? I've already explained. So this is the process. You start with data investigating, then you go for data processing, then data forecasting, develop the model, apply the MODM, that is called multi-objective model or multi-attribute model. So these are called MCDM model. So again, I'm explaining there are basically 5 groups of modeling. One is called multivariate. Another is called MCDM, multi-criteria decision-making tools. Another is called econometrics. Another is called financial econometrics. Another is called data analytics. Then that is called, another is called big data analytics. Then that is called AI technique, artificial intelligence. Then we have soft computing. So if we count the number of tool and technique that the people are using in the research, it is 179 tools. Generally, researcher fraternity using their research. I know cannot be a master of all, but you should know that tools maximum number so that with a single problem and with a single broad study, having a number of, you can use these tools. So this is the, if you practice the things, then we can be able to publish ABS journal. You can also publish, you can start with ABS 2, then 3, then 4, then 4-star. So this is why given my best wishes to all the participants. If you have any work, if you want to work with us, kindly mail us, we'll work together. And if you Google my name, I have published a number of books in the analytics and predictive analytics tools. And I have worked in digital marketing, online marketing, and financial econometrics. This is my specialization. So thank you very much. If you have any question, you can ask me. I am ready to answer. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Manoy Kumadas, for
I've
very
taken exactly
interesting
1 hour, sir. I started 12:13 and I completed 1:13. So you're given 1 hour. I have judicially applied that 1 hour. I not take a maximum.
Yes.
That's very appreciate.
And in fact, I also really hope that my faculty members can really make use of this period of time for discussion. So ladies and gentlemen, the floor is open for any of your questions to Dr. Manoy Kumadas, please.
For students, you could put the question in the Q&A section, or you can click on raise hand, then I will allow you to talk.
And if for some students, if you hesitate to ask directly in English, just raise your question in Vietnamese.
And I request our director also to answer some of questions because he is the master and the expert in this area last 35 years. So we'll both answer your queries. We are ready to answer your queries.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So we encourage students to put up question or any query.
In fact, in the list of the attendees, I see many of our teachers around here as well. Yes, Mr. Withakil is one of the teachers.
Yeah, please. So I already allow you to talk, so you can talk now. Mr. Hugh, I think that you can unmute yourself and speak. So I will promote him to the panelist and he will join in 1 minute. Okay, so.
Yes, it's better.
So I think when we're waiting for Mr. Hugh, we have one question, I think from India. So Mr. Manoj Dash, so you can click on the Q&A button downstairs in the panelist and you can see from Shantanu Shahu.
What is this questions? I have not seen.
So he says that to assess the impact of e-worm with tool to apply.
Which one?
To assess, I will message you. Just 1 second.
Okay.
Dr. Manoj. Can you see it?
Oh, yeah. Mr. Sahu, you are asking about one question, that is word of mouth communication. Which tool you to apply? When there is a word of mouth communications, it means I want to apply. There's another that is called NLP tool, that is natural language processing tool, to understand the sentiment of the customer, because there is called word of mouth. There are a lot of content and text and messages are there. So to understand the emotion of the and feeling of that customer, you are having a technique. There is software called NBIBO, where you can use the concept called NLP, natural language processing, to understand the emotion of the customer, who are positive, who are negative, who are neutral. So we are using NLP technique for this case by using the NBIBO software and Atlas TI software to analyze this process. I hope Mr. Sahu, okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, so
Hello?
we are waiting.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, please.
Hello, Professor. I'm Wei Kak Hiếu from UTE.
Yeah.
I have one question for you. As you present, there's a lot of technique used in business research, and for every objective we have one special technique. I want to ask, what is a popular software in business research for special objective, or what software do you use in the data analysis?
Yeah.
Yes.
A question is very well taken. So there are 5 software generally using. Basically, the students are using, researchers are using SPSS. Most of the multivariate analysis are using SPSS. And there is another version of SPSS that is called MOS. So if you are interested in business research method by using multivariate analysis, you are using SPSS, which is called statistical packages for social science. And if you are interested to work on business research in finance, the stock market, or forecasting, we have software called eViews. We are using eView software to analyze the time series modeling. And if you're interested to use econometrics, we are having called Stata. So you should know whether you go for business research, multivariate, that is SPSS. If you're interested in time series modeling, stock marketing, finance, eViews. If you're interested in hardcore econometrics, you are having SAS and Stata. But the basic open source software most students are like to use, that is called R. Which can supplement all these tools. We don't require MDA, we don't require eViews, we don't require SPSS. By using R also, we can also analyze the things. But the problem of R is you have to know the coding, you should know the language. So I know most of the econometricians, they do not know your language. For them, please listen, apply SPSS for business research, eViews for time series modeling, econometrics for SAS and Stata, and for text analytics, you are having software called NBIBO and Atlas TI. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for your answer. SPS is popular, and next is eView, and also Stata.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. And we have the next question from Nguyễn Thị Thanh Thúy. So Ms. Thúy, I will unmute you. Yeah, you can put up the question.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're audible. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, Professor. I'm really happy when I hear your presentation. I really like your method, discriminant analysis. Can you help me give me more details about this method?
Which one, descriptive?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, which method you are interested? Which method you are interested to know?
Discriminant analysis.
Okay. Now what happened? In discriminant analysis, we are having a called dependent variable and independent variable. In dependent variable are dichotomous variable, where your question is either 1 and 0, means like or dislike. Means if your dependent variable is a dichotomous and it will impacted some of the key independent variable. To analyze that dichotomous dependent variable, we are using discriminant analysis. For example, if I say that y is equal to function of x1, x2, x3, where x1, x2, x3 are some key variable which impact customer to visit the mall or not. It may be price, it may be brand, or it may be quality. These three are parameters which impact on customer to purchase or not purchase. So if it, now here the dependent variable is purchase or not purchase, dichotomous. If a dependent variable is dichotomous, independent variable is a scale, to analyze the impact of that thing, you are using discriminant analysis. The objective of discriminant analysis, to understood, you have to divide the whole data in two parts, training and testing. Past observation, we are using the discriminant analysis to understood what is the best parameter predictor. If we develop a model, we say that 96% of the analysis are properly classified. And if you go for a new set of data and characteristic of data, if we use that data into our machine, we can clearly predict that the customer will purchase or not purchase at the error of 5%. So discriminant analysis is to use to understand the dichotomous questions or modeling. Am I okay?
Yes, thank you. Can you recommend the software can help us to solve this method?
SPSS is the right software, SPSS, or there is another software you can use also R, but SPSS is the right one. But there is a free software is available now and very easy to operate. That is called Jamovi, Jamovi. Please write down. This software is very easy to operate. Do not require any conceptual language. Once you apply Jamovi software, Jamovi, ultimately you will get the result and you also get the interpretation also. If you don't know about interpretation, that can be also helped through the software called Jamovi. It is an open source software now, and it is an edition version of R.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
So thank you. So we have received a lot of query from both Indian side and Vietnamese side. So I will start one by one, but I will take my priority to Vietnamese. Okay. Thank you. So for your understanding. So, but we will come back to Indian question. Don't worry, we not skip your question. So the next question is from the one student, Nguyễn Phan Anh Huy. So for Dr. Manoj Das, so what are the popular data mining techniques for your research and how can you apply machine learning in your field?
So for this, I am requesting my director sir to explain because he is expert on this, in the data mining technique and machine learning. So sir, over to you, sir. You kindly answer this question.
Yeah, so please, Professor Shahu.
So kindly unmute.
This question is from the lecturer from UT, lecturer Nguyễn Phan Anh Huy. Yeah, please, sir.
Normal traditional modeling has a advantage. The advantage is that we take very less number of data points and we can solve the problem. If we have any of the traditional, so 50 to 100 data points is sufficient. But when we do not understand the process, we do not understand the variables, usually we adopt methods of a logic-based learning and a logic-based minimization of errors into the model. When you talk of any model, model is basically a representation of reality. Now, when that reality, if you simplify and then codify, whether in terms of mathematical figures or in whatever way, then it becomes a model. And whether to use the model or not, we normally find out the accuracy of the model. And this accuracy, if it is acceptable, we use the model. If it is not acceptable, we go for better model. So this compromise of any model is between simplicity and accuracy. Now, when the simplicity is lost, we usually try to develop the model, a logic-driven model, by providing large number of data points. And we ask the system to learn by itself how is the data generating process, because data is coming from a real process. Now it tries to discover itself. As like in the stock market, we say everything goes into the price is the final outcome. We do not analyze everything. Similarly, into the machine learning or artificial intelligent models, they are data intensive models. So we need to have a minimum of 1,000 data points, and we try to feed them into models like neural network. And there are various classes of neural network, recurrent, etc., various classes of models, so that it tries to discover. Once the model, you can see the model is learning and it has stabilized, then we stop the model there from further learning, and we use this for behavior analysis. So this is in broad is the data mining models. They can be used for classification to bringing in similarity. They can be used for various types of, like market basket analysis is also a AI technique. So when you have large data points, then only you'll be able to do this. So the logics are same. Whether we have a regression, we make a OLS model, and we try to minimize the error. Similarly, here the logic-based minimization is drawn, and it tries to learn from the data. And if we have to see whether the model is working properly or not, we keep a testing data, and we apply this testing data onto it and test for accuracy. Okay. I think this is how the AI models are done. Thank you.
Let's go to one is called human intelligence, one is called machine intelligence. So we know our logics. We have to give the logic into the coding system. The machine can interpret what is the best right approach. So it is a conflict between human intelligence and machine intelligence. That's why we require artificial intelligence to understand something which is the best logic and reasoning for your answer. And Sarjay rightly explained the details about it.
So thank you, and we are waiting for the next question.
I've answered some questions in your text box also.
Yeah, I saw it. Thank you, Professor.
So any next question, please?
I request kindly share this PPT to all the participants so they can know the details and they can interact with all after our session also.
Yeah, definitely, sir. Your presentation slide will be shared among student and lecturer from UTE with your email address there, so they can contact you directly via sending mail.
Let them give the specifications and express interest.
So we are waiting for the next question. Is there any question from our UTE lecturer and student?
And also that whether they will pay all the expenses. These three things they cover in the
I think when we're waiting for the questions from Vietnamese partner, please also provide the answers for the Indian partners, please.
Actually, for Indian's question, they put in the Q&A box, and Dr. Manoj Dasi answering directly from there.
I think there's also more questions. I have not seen any other questions.
Yeah, I think that's let's we give people attendees maybe 1 more 2 minutes to that. Maybe they're thinking about the question.
Okay.
Professors from UTA, please keep asking, because I think this is a very nice opportunity for you regarding directly to the research workload that you are doing.
Okay, I think that they are putting questions in the chat box. So I would like Dr. Manoj that if I can read out the questions and then you can answer, so all people can to get the answer together. It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the next question is from Ms. Wang Nguyen. So when we should use meta analysis or systematic review when we do the literature review, and what is software help us to use the meta analysis?
Okay. Now, there is software is called Meta XLR, and we are also having Jamovi for understanding the meta analysis, and also Stata can also use for meta analysis. Meta analysis and systematic review both are different. In meta analysis, we are using meta analysis to understand what are the factors of significant impact or which of the factors contributed significantly. We have to develop some of the demographic, some of the images for that. We are also having meta SEM to understand, to develop a factor can be included or excluded as in our model. So meta accelerator you can use Jamovi, you can use Stata, but basically people are using meta Jamovi software and the Stata software to discuss the meta. And there is another software is called comprehensive meta-analysis software. I'm having that. There is called CMA software, which is a licensed version. It's called comprehensive meta-analysis. You can also do both the things, meta review and meta SEM. So comprehensive meta review will be another software. So Jamovi, Stata, Meta Excel, Examiner, and fourth one is called comprehensive meta. When your question answered. Systematic review is only to understand which author is published highest number of paper, which country published highest number of paper, which paper is a highly cited paper. It is purely a descriptive analysis of the work. But meta-analysis talk about the significant paper or significant contribution of that particular paper. So we have to develop a meta graph where you can find out the heterogeneity and homogeneity among the papers. If that heterogeneity, we also analyze wide heterogeneity. Because if having, I give an example. Suppose I want to understand the impact of satisfaction in banking sector. So when I have seen that only one factor is called reliability. Reliability score has been reported by 10 different authors in 10 different points. Now question is why there is heterogeneity? That I want to understand. When reliability score is only one factor, why the reliability score on satisfaction is different. So I applied the meta-analysis to understand is it a homogeneous problem or heterogeneous problem. When I go for meta-SEM, meta-analysis, I found that this is different because of area-wise, this is because of the number of years wise, or this is because of the consumer, the types of consumer. So when we have a 5 different factor and the different score, mean score, beta score is there, why it is so? That we will check through meta-analysis through whether heterogeneous problem is there or homogeneous problem is there, or publication bias is there, or it is paper is significant or not through the T. That is called, we go for diamond analysis. But in case of systematic review, we just analyze the paper, number of highest author, highest citation, which country published highest number. That is a purely descriptive analysis. I hope when Ningu, I answered your question. And for systematic review, there is software called Bibliometric, that is called Voice Viewer, SiteNet Explorer. These are 2 better software people are using to go for systematic review.
Okay, thank you, sir, Doctor. And we're moving to the next question.
Yeah.
Yeah, so from Miss Zhang, so the lecturer from XCM UTE. So she saw that you have published an article on the artificial bee colonized Yeah, so can you please elaborate more on that topic?
Okay, that we have not only used the B technique, we have used the 7 tools to understand the customer insight, and we'll find out the ROI, which is the best interpretation. So artificial bee colony algorithm is the one of the algorithm we have used to understand the customer emotion intelligence or decision making approach. We also use the forest tool. We also use the F4. We also use discriminate. We also use CAT with that paper. And after applying the 7 tools to understand the customer insight and psyche, we see the artificial bee colony algorithm is the best technique, which can be clearly say that the customer whether can we go for the purchasing or not. So a bee is one of the technique. We have not used only bee technique. We've used the forest for C4 technique, classification, we use clustering technique in that case, we also use bee technique. So please, there is a very highly cited paper. I request please go through it. You'll find the modeling part and the analytical part also there. And if you have further any questions, I can also explain sharing the interpretations and the analysis part and the data set also to understand the background of this paper.
Thank you, Dr. Manoj, and I hope that your answer has fulfilled the query from the Ms. Zhang. So we are waiting for the next question.
Any students would like to ask, please?
I think there is also other questions. They are thinking.
Yeah, maybe they're thinking.
Or they can ask the questions after my class into my email also. I can answer if there is a problem.
Yeah,
I'm available. No problem. I can answer there only. And
okay. So
those who are interested to work with in our laboratory, they can also mail us. We will jointly can work and publish the work for the benefit of both the countries.
Yeah, that would be grateful.
Because we are having some customers are there. Some customers are Indian and some Vietnam. If you are providing the data of Vietnam, you are providing data from India, then cosmopolitan study can be carried out, and that can be more required in today's research scenario. We can work together.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. There's a big difference between India and Vietnam.
Yeah.
So I think that's we will conclude our seminar today. So I hand over to you, Mr. Leng.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tang. And honestly, I was trying to I don't know if I could propose to you, Dr. Manoj, that's about the opportunity if the faculty members could contact you in depth with their research in terms of the some specific research and procedures, because I think for general questions they have all asked, but for the something focusing on specific issue, I think they will come up with even more questions to ask you. So it will be quite time and effort consuming period for you if you receive the emails or questions from them.
Definitely.
But I hope you are willing to answer.
Yeah.
So once again, on behalf of the university, we highly appreciate your willingness today for providing our faculty members and students with a very nice and high level research knowledge about the field. And in this case, we really hope that this meaningful activity can be repeated many times more, because in fact today, as you can see, up to now the participant list can reach to 100, but 100 is still a very small number as you can see, we have many students, like more than 20,000 students, of course in different fields, but even like that, I believe that the knowledge you are transferring through your presentation is very much meaningful for the general methodology and also way of thinking for students as well. So thank you very much again for your presentation today. And I really hope that this is kind of the very first step for our further cooperation between the two institutions. And thank you very much for spending time with us until now, Professor Sahu and Dr. Das. Thank you again.
Thank you.
So I would like to say some words on behalf of the Consulate General of India. So we very thank you from Dr. Manoj Dat and Professor Sahu, and also thank you from Mr. Leng and the host student and lecturer from Ho Chi Minh City University of Technology and Education for collaborations and to holding today's seminar. And we have had a very fruitful discussions, and we will continue with this kind of seminar during this maybe difficult situations, and we'll be planning for more collaborations between the IIITM, Qualio, and UT in the near future. And we'll be planning for the next seminar, and with the topic we will discuss and figure out which one it will be interesting from Vietnamese side. And we will plan for that very soon.
Thank you.
And
thank you.
I think that Professor Shahu has some word want to say. So please unmute and you can. So can you unmute yourself? Yeah,
it was really interesting to see that people are, researchers are always on the same leg. But when we put the other leg, then we try to fear. But research is all we are doing good research. Only thing is that we need to collaborate and do it much better. That's all I would say.
Thank you very much. Professor So. So once again, so I would like to thank all of you for spending time with us today afternoon, and we look forward to see you in the next sections. We are planning so very soon, and let you know.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Have a good day, sir.
Also, thank you so much again, Mr. Tang, and please send our deepest gratitude to the Consul General for this activity. It is because of his kind support to become true. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I will forward your message to him.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, and see you again. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Manoj Dat. Thank you, Professor Sahu, and see you.
And thank you, participants. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So I will close my the Zoom now, and the record I will send to you very soon.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you all very much once again. Thank you.
Yes.